Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Everybody, we're probably like 5 minutes from starting the preview, so if you would kind of start making your way towards the seats here, and we'll get started here shortly. It is 7 o'clock, so if you can make your way to the seats, we'll probably bring this first set up here in the next couple minutes. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming. We've got a tremendous set of breeders and a very, very deep set of pigs here to look at. I think everybody ought to be able to find something that they like. Tonight, we're just going to run through them. The breeders are going to give us pedigrees and tell us a little bit about the pigs. Tomorrow at 10:30, we'll run them back through. I've got a good buddy that's coming, and he'll give us his opinion on them tomorrow before the sale. We'll have lunch at noon, and then we'll start that sale at 1 o'clock. Preview tonight is on Facebook Live on the beginning. Bidding tomorrow in person or on CCI.Live through Kennedy Ventures. And I guess we're ready to get started here. Our first breeder up today is Tag Genetics. Tyler brings a trio of them here. He's got a blue butt, an all-white pig, Class York at Weld County or on the CJSA circuit, and then a little belted barrow that I think you'll all like a lot.
All right. Thanks, Zach. First of all, thanks for putting on such a first-class event and inviting us back to it. So we'll get it started with tag 16, notch 13-6. He's our leadoff barrow. He is a turn and burn, next intention. I see him immature in his type and kind. Still offers a big hip and hind leg. Stout scold with some good extension out of his blade. The belted one. Bluegill. Tag 41 is the bluegill. Ear notch 2-3, and she is a mi amigo. Spread the word. She's got a big functional hip and hind leg, short backed, extended out of her blade with a stout skull on her. Next one up is the York appearing barrow. Tag 67, ear notch 1-3. He is an above all else endgame. Big hip and hind leg on that guy, big boned. Extended out of his blade when you get his head up. And stout skulled. Once again, Zach, thanks for putting on a first-class event here.
I forgot to mention, too, different from last year, we went ahead and tagged all these pigs the way they're going to sell. So lot 1 is tag 1 also. Trying to make it easy for a couple people that sit in the front row right over here. Next up, we have our friends from Hittin' Livestock. Ralph brought us a Chester barrow that I think if you're looking to run on that circuit or go to State Fair with a purebred, I think you need to pay attention. And then he brought us a male crossbred pig that you might think it's a little small, but that thing's going to make it to State Fair and very, very easily.
Thanks, Zach, for having us back this year. The little crossbred barrow is lot 15. He's going to be the one that we start off with in round 1 that Sydney's working on. He is a my speed. His mom, actually, the Coryell family would have shown 2 years ago and was champion lightweight at Kit Carson County. I think that guy's not real old. Obviously, we're going to win the smallest pig award, but if you read the good in that thing, I think he's very short-backed. He's really big-legged. He's sound and correct. Probably needs another week or two to really be out there in front of people, but I think that guy is really good. We're not having an online sale late this year, so wanted to give everybody a shot at this guy. He probably would have been sold a week later than for most, but I think that guy's very boxy, very square. Like that one a good deal. The Chester barrow we saved back specifically for this event. His mom would have been Jake King's gilt that wins CGSA light cross division last year. She was top 5 in multiple jackpots, and one that was extremely good. We weren't looking to be in the Chester business, but when a sow like that one comes your way, you can't give it up. I think that one does things that Chesters struggle with in terms of just length of neck, choke-throated. He's still big-legged, and his hind leg runs extremely good. Look these pair up in the back. The Chester barrow would be lot 40. He's a Making Waves Boomtown. And the little guy is lot 15. He's a My Speed No Intro. Thanks again, Zach.
Next up here we have Torpedo Farms. I think everybody, if you've been showing pigs for any amount of time in Colorado, you know about Torpedo. Bring us 2 male crossbreds here that I know they're pretty proud of, and with good reason.
Thanks, Zach, for having us back again. So last summer, we spent a lot of focus on improving our crossbred program. These 2 barrows go back to 2 gilts we bought from Heimer Hampshires in their 2023 Built the Brand sale. So the one there with the thinner belt, I think you could show that guy's a Hampshire barrow. So he reads the Northern Lights back on a snooze sow that we bought for $4,100. Really appreciate the stout indicators that guy carries. Look at his stout skull. He's heavy boned. I think he's got a lot of mass and power. And as an FYI, Northern Lights is a My Intentions son. So if you kind of followed the national scene this last year, I think My Intentions had just as big a success as Tricked Out, or obviously Tricked Out for a reason. But the next guy, the crossbred barrel right there, he reads the My Intentions Cricket sow. We bought a blue butt sow from Heimers for $5,500. I love this guy. He's going to be our leadoff in the cell tomorrow. Really appreciate him from a design standpoint. I think that guy could have a fun spring and really have a good time at the end of the summer. So thanks again. Appreciate for having us.
So the one right here in the center of the ring will be tag 21. What's this other one? 43. And the other one right here in front of the cell block is 43. So Ellie's on 21, Brindley's on 43. Next up, we got Rock Ridge Farms. Kip's going to run us a trio or a couple crossbreds here and a couple purebreds. I was down there and looked at these things a week ago, and I thought they were awfully good. They've gotten better in a week. And here's Kip.
Thanks, Zach. We're going to start off with that spot back barrow. These are full swings out of a Seed of Belief sow. The mom of these was middleweight champion a couple years ago in Larimer County. She raised the light cross champion last year. We used full swing on them to kind of dense them up, make them a little bigger legged, a little hairier, and I think he did a pretty good job for us. I read these just being super big ribbed, big legged. I think they'll work for about anything. I think we could hold them and go to state fair if we needed to, or any county fair. Mama does a good job. We've had that sow line for about 10 or 12 years now. I'm pretty confident in these 2 will be fine. Ellie is on 11, and then Brindley is on 61. And they're doing a hell of a job out there. Good job, girls. Then we're going to come out with a couple purebreds. The Chester Barrow is out of a, God dang, hold on. What's his number? Oh. $37. Oh, yeah. Captain Obvious out of a Mercy Me. The mama to those, Devers showed last winter, and she won Cheyenne and the Jingle Bells jackpot. We bred her to Captain Obvious, make them a little bigger legged, a little bigger ribbed. She was pretty tight ribbed. Really like that barrel, super sound. Really good in his hip. I like that guy. And then the Duroc, the Dever family showed that mama, and then they showed a barrel. They ended up third at State Fair last year, and we used Wintex 312. That's the boar that wins Denver.
Really like that Duroc a bunch. Super cool looking, super sound, still big legged, still green. I think he'll get denser and bigger ribbed when we get him into them heavier weights at State Fair. He'll work for Weld County or another county fair, but I think his end goal would be State Fair. I'd like to thank for everybody coming and watching, and you need to stop and tell thanks to Zach for putting on this event. It's pretty good for all these local breeders and guys that don't have a big chance of breaking pigs out in front of a bunch of different people. Thanks again.
Which one? So the Chester is 37, the Duroc is 35. Next up, we got Elite Genetics. Zach Vaughn has been starting a Showpig operation, and he went out and bought a bred, and he brought 3 out of that bred that I think are awfully nice, and we'll let Zach tell you more about it.
Awesome, thank you, Zach. Before we get started, I have a lot of thank yous to owe to many people. First of all, I want to thank Zach and his family for having this pig sale. I want to thank my personal family. They've been huge supporters of me starting this program. I want to thank Kip, Ralph, Weston, Dakota, and Scott. They've all been big-time breeders that have gave me a lot of help. So about the pigs, these guys would have came out of a bred sow that we would bought from Dana Livestock here this fall. She would have originated from breeding genetics. She was a show gilt for a family down in the south. All 3 of these are litter mates. They may not be the biggest ones today in the sale, but I think they are tremendously good in terms of quality. That mama would have been second in her class behind the grand at the Louisville Gilt Show. Here we go. So Logan with lot 10, she'll be our leadoff pig in round 1. I think that one is ultra attractive when you get a good profile view of the side. One I really like in terms of how square she is coming and going away from you. That one is super flexible and carries big time feature and big time stoutness. I'm really proud of that gilt there. Lot 33, that'll be the one that Brooks on here. That one is like a freak, I feel. Ultra cool up front, nice crisp jawline, one that's jet level down her top and yet still carries some muscle shape and expression. That one's also major big boned, and really like how flexible she is as well. So once again, that'll be lot 10 and lot 33. Oh, excuse me. The last one was lot 60, not 33. 33 is going to go ahead and be this Barrow prospect here. That one I read as a power hog, one that I think has tremendous stoutness about him. He's extra flexible. He's big and burly. He's hairy. One I really like in terms of just how comfortable he is when he gets on the move. That one's pretty geek necked up front. Really like some parts and pieces about that one. I think he could do some good things in the big ring.
Well, once again, this male pig's lot 33, ear notch 2-4. Next up, we got Scott, SD Genetics, Scott Dean. Real quick, I want to thank Scott. If you go on and get on our Facebook page, you'll see the SC online view-only listing. Scott did that for us, and he did all the work on it. So I really appreciate that, especially this weekend in the walk in the park for Scott. He's got a few things going on, so be sure and thank him for doing that. But we'll let Scott tell you about these two.
Thanks, Zach. I want to appreciate the Coryell clan for inviting us out. I know we had a little bit of a weekend swap, and Zach called me and was like, do you care if we end up on your weekend? And I said, nope, the more the merrier. And I said it actually logistically works out a little bit better for us. It's made a little bit of a headache, but we've gotten through it, and appreciate the crew that was here today taking care of pigs while we were not here. But so we're going to start off. Our lot 17 would be the gilt in the middle of the ring, kind of the chromed up deal. She would be a 12 litter. She's an easy for you. For those of you that aren't aware of what that boar is, he's a tricked out end game that we bought from Dakota Strieber. He's done a very, very good job for us. And obviously, I think if you go on our Facebook page, you'll notice how hard we've used that boar the last few seasons and continue to do so. Mommy behind this one would be a one step closer little bro. She has a pile of litter mates that are just about 20 miles south of here for our sale tomorrow night. It's a deep gilt litter, so I decided I'd bring one out of that litter. We like this gilt an awful lot. I think one that reads that she could go market gilt and jackpot early, and as you slow her down and feed her a little bit lower and slower, I think she would make a later show and go into October no problem, and probably even make a big one come Phoenix time if you really wanted to get her old and take her that route. One that we like an awful lot. And then the barrow would be lot 42. That is a 17-1. The 17s would be It Ain't Easy's, which is a tricked out never before at Maverick Squires in Oklahoma. Mommy behind this one would be the infamous 59-2 King of the Hill sow. She's the mother behind Jolie Ontiveros' gilt that wins the gilts at Weld and Colorado State Fair 2 years ago. She's also the mommy behind the 22-litter pair that Jolie dominated the circuit with last year in Colorado and hung like 40-some banners. She's the sow that we basically have based everything around in Lisco, America. She's one that when she laid down, she gave us 7 boar pigs this time. And when Zach called me and invited me, I said, you know what, I think I'm going to bring a barrow out of that litter. Mommy's got the hype, and definitely one that we think is probably honestly the best barrow. I left a couple littermate sisters back at our sale that I think are awfully neat. We like this one an awful lot. Growth-wise, I think he'll be plenty big come county fair time, but that pedigree has some hold in it. And so if you wanted to take him a little bit further, you probably could into a state fair situation. But a barrow that obviously pedigree behind him, mommy behind him, that one's kind of a no holds bar deal there. So once again, thank you guys, and I appreciate the invite and look forward to it.
And next up, we got Parker Showpigs from up in Wyoming. I reached out to him and asked if him and the University of Wyoming would want to bring some of their pigs down here, and they jumped at the opportunity, and they brought down 5 head that are, I think, fit the bill really well for Colorado here, and we got Landon Eldridge here from UW that's going to talk them.
Well, like the other consigners have echoed, first off, appreciate the invite and glad to be here, and look forward to the event this weekend. Parker Showpigs there in Laramie are the first 3 in the ring. We got lot 20. Lot 20 would be the little 6-6 barrel there on the left side, or my left side of the ring right there. That's kind of the narrow belted option there. Lot 46, tag 46, would be the bigger wide belt option. The bigger wide belt barrow there on my left side of the ring. And then our last consignment of this trio is tag 47. That'd be ear notch 9-6. And he'd be the smallest, lightest complected barrow there right in the middle of the ring right now. So pedigree-wise, tag 20, 6-6, you'll notice kind of the same sow family show up. But 6-6, he's at 99 problems. That'd be a tricked out son that Trace raised that stands there down at Foot down there in Texas. So he'd be a 99 problems on a case closed Kingpin Dirty Secret sow. Tag 46, the 8-5, that's the bigger wide belted barrow again. He'd be a blackjack out of a Kingpin Dirty Secret. That'd be the same Kingpin Dirty Secret sow on the bottom side as well. And then 9-6, the smaller barrow there in the middle of the ring, he'd be out of the blue on that same case closed Kingpin Dirty Secret sow. That would be the mother of our leadoff lot, tag 20. So that pedigree, the reason I guess these 3 were selected is that Kingpin Dirty Secret line is a purchase that stems back from one of Kirk Swanson's dispersal a few years ago. Pigs fed really well out of that line, done really well, and so as a first-time event, Pat wanted to make sure it's a good representation of their program and bring some of their stuff out of their stronger sow lines. And so that's why all three of these pigs, whether it's direct sow or a grandma on the bottom side or great-grandma on the bottom side, all tie back into that same Kingpin Dirty line that stems from Kirk Swanson. You know, these pigs all hit us as kinds that can fit those later July county fairs, but still they're pretty boxy and they're pretty dense to where they can stretch into those mid to late August state fair, county fair range. And so regardless of, I guess, what your endpoint is, these three pigs we have quite a bit of faith in terms of feedability due to the bottom side influence, pigs that should work well for different endpoints. So just look in, study which one you like, and find the one that fits your program. But three pigs that Pat and his wife and family are very proud to consign to this event as a first-time consigner. And then this next pair that drops in the ring are both coming from the UW swine unit there. These are a pair of brothers. They're 6 litters. Tag 68, that would be the wider belted barrow the young lady in the gray sweatshirt has driving. And then tag 69 would be the narrow belted barrow the young lady in the blue top is showing. So that pair of barrows, they're obviously litter mates, like I said, and they're going to be out of Easy for You, which in this part of the world probably doesn't need much introduction. Stands there at SD Genetics in Lisco. Scott was very kind and generous and worked with us to be able to get some semen out of that boar, and very pleased with how they look. We're probably just a bit greener and a bit behind some in this sale, and I'll be the first one to admit that. But if you've been around the Easies and fed some or watched them grow out, I guess I wouldn't be afraid of green ones. Like these pigs in terms of their build and their design. And the bottom side there is a Rockstar sow, and that female was a bred sow purchase from Bred Right Showpigs in Ohio. But both of these barrows are Easy for You Rockstars. They're from UW Swine Unit. These pigs, as well as the last group from Pat Parker, both are kind of that last 7 to 10 days of December. And so again, these are ones that we feel confident can hit those July county fairs and early August county fairs, those of you searching for those. But still, with the Easies, I think, have just a little bit of sit and hold to them as well if you need to go beyond. So a pair that we're proud to offer. So look in. If you have any questions, be sure to look myself or Pat up in the back. We'd be happy to visit with you more. Once again, thanks for having us out. Looking forward to this event.
Next up, we got Cade Smith and Pooh's Showpigs. I think they got a gilt out of the coronation out of our friend down at Goss's, and brought us, what did you bring, Forehead. I think Kendall's here to tell us what she thinks.
I drew the short end of the stick because Cade likes to act like he's real scared to talk in front of people, which is 100% not true. But nonetheless, on behalf of Cade and the Poos family, they certainly want to thank you guys and thank Zach for putting on the sale and having them out here. This pair of gilts, both 1-litter gilts, the wide belt is a 1-1 and the narrow belt's 1-3. These are both after parties, roll call. So the mom of these gilts would have been bought out of the Goss coronation sale. The mom would be a half sister to her, just raised a $33,000 gilt at Boble's sale. The grandma of these two gilts would be the reserve grand at Louisville, Kansas City, and Tulsa for the Bump family. After party is housed there at PBG. He's a litter mate to Party Trick and several other winners for the Straka family, for Hagen, and the black-headed gilt that Cade paraded around last summer as well. So both these gilts, we feel like they could go both ways. They could go market or breeding. To me, they both have the right kind of size to keep feeding, no matter what your endpoint might be, or you could keep them back. They've got proven genetics in their pedigrees if you want to take them home and turn them into sows. So the lead off here will be lot 9, the narrow belt gilt. The wide belt is lot 34. The next pair in the ring, these are both strictly business out of a Wolfman sow. Strictly business, again, is housed there at PBG, raised by PBG. The Wolfman sow actually would be a littermate sister to the 6th overall at OYE. Cross-gilt, light cross-gilt. Between these, the barrow here, 3-6, he's going to be lot 59. 3-3 is the gilt. She'll be lot 58. Both these, don't be intimidated by them being just a little smaller. These things, for being little early Januaries, have put it on. They like to eat, and they can feed. The barrow there, real neat in terms of his proportions. That one's got a really neat look, and he's got just keeps getting better and better as the day goes on. The gilt there, she's stout anywhere you study her, and again, much like the first pair, if you decide to maybe run her market, I think she'll feed real good, maybe into state fair, or if you take her home and make her into a sow, I think that thing's got a lot of potential. So again, this is Cade Smith and Poos Showpigs, all four of their head, and again, just on their behalf, they want to thank you guys for allowing them. Just me being known with them, I think they're great people, and they want nothing more than to help the kids and keep getting better. So thank you guys again.
Next up, we got Bosler Showpigs over there in Akron. Garrett brought us 3 head of kind of one bigger county fair pig and then 2 smaller ones. I think everybody probably needs to pay attention here for a second.
Yeah, like Zach said, I'm Garrett Bosler. Would like to thank Zach and the crew for inviting us back. Pretty excited to be here. The first one I'm going to talk will be the one that Carlina's on there. He'd be lot 14, 1-6. He is an easy for you rock star. That's one that I feel is very special. I think he combines a lot of very elite pieces and packs it into a very fundamental and correct package. Massive legged. I mean, that thing's got major, big limbs, and I think he uses his hip and hind leg very, very good. I think that's very correct, and that's hard to do with one that's built like that. Like I said, tons of freak in that one. Going to be shaggy, going to be hairy. Probably not going to need a whole lot of hair pills for that one. He would have been out of a bred sow we bought from SD Genetics. That easy bore that Scott's got definitely doesn't need any introduction. That thing, he stamps them for sure. Like I said, that's one I'm pretty high on. I think the feed window on that one's pretty wide open. I think you can feed that one for a long time, and I don't know what else to say about him other than I think he's dang good. The next one I'm going to talk would be the one that Brinley's on. He's 3-6, lot 39. That one would be Real Talk, Easy Does It Cookie. Real Talk's the boar housed at Premium Blend. Would have been out of a sow that my sister would have bought from Ben Cooley at Flatland Showpigs, a show at Denver a few years ago. We felt she was too good to take and send her on the truck, so we kept her back and bred her. But I think that's a real neat chromed up one that reads to me like he's going to be a meat and potatoes kind of barrow, but paints a real pretty picture from the side as well. I think that's another one that feed window on him's pretty wide open. I think you can take that one to a county fair. I think you can feed him onto Pueblo. A lot of real good things about that one. Like I said, I think he'd be a fun one to feed as well. To me, looks like a good feeder. That one's mama would have raised the mother, or that one's mother would have raised the champion light cross at the San Luis Valley County Fair last year. So had a little bit of success in her gilt litter there. The next one would be the one Carlina has, that bigger barrow there. Like Zach said, I think that's a good county fair one. In date's probably county fair. He's an easy for you rock star. He'd be, I think, he's a litter mate to that little one. He's probably the denser and burlier one. Probably one of the stouter featured ones we've probably ever offered. I think he combines a lot of very elite pieces into a real fundamental package as well, and I think that's another one that I think feeds easy and don't have to do a lot of things there. You maybe get him home, pull him off the feed a little bit, trim that neck up just a skosh, but I think that's a good one that feeds for any county fair, probably end of July, first week of August, you'll be just fine. Like I said, that one come out of that bred sow we bought from Scott. Real high on both of those, really all three of them. Pretty proud of the set we brought. Like I said, I'd like to thank Zach and everybody else. Happy to be here again.
Next up, we got Chase Rushton with SoCo Showpigs. Chase was kind of one of the inaugural, or one of the first breeders that we started this with, and so he brings a few more than most, and he was here before noon today, which is pretty just amazing. He pictured his pigs great, and I think he's pretty proud of this set with really good reason.
Well, thanks, Zach. We're trying to get a little better in some areas, but can't get it all done right. And unfortunately, you can see some nuts in all these things. So that they've made listed on SC Online as some bears, but they're all intact. But I guess not for any particular reason, just maybe a lack of management on my end. But other than that, I guess I think these things have developed and really came on here in the last week or so. Like these two out here in the ring, try and keep plenty or select females out of a few certain lines, and like that 9-6, the Chrome Bear is out of a Say Win Cruel sow that has done a good job in lot 52 on that one that Brindley's on. So the Say Win had a brother win a class at State Fair for Allie Rushton a couple summers ago, and in her first litter showing in Texas, she has a reserve middleweight at Lubbock County. That barrel will go on to Houston here in a week or two, and then the blue belt is a Wide Awake on a May We All. This is her third litter. In her first litter, she had a class winner at Wisconsin State Fair and had a fourth at Angelo. Just think those things, just drive on feet and legs and good, I mean, fundamentally correct and basic build, but try and throw some extras on them with some look and getting enough feature in them. I feel like these are, I mean, good feeding hogs that have a pretty good end point. I mean, can finish well for guys and be a nice project, and going to have some extras and look and show ability.
We hadn't mentioned yet, but for those of you, I'm sure everybody does know, but Colorado State Fair has added a light cross division. This one does class light cross for Colorado State Fair, and also Weld County has added a light cross division. So we're going to be sending two light crosses in Pueblo to the Grand Drives.
Yeah, good point. Thanks. We ended up had a litter of heavy hitters on a full sin gilt. I guess this is her third litter. She had a second at Kiowa or Elbert County last year behind the reserve. She had a couple. I just kept some gilts this summer out of her. Some no problems. The bears were a little too didn't hit the right time frame, too early for Texas stuff and didn't enough Denver stuff traffic. But I think this is by far her best litter. We brought 5 of them up. I think just if I could put hip and hind legs in them all like she does, I go for them all day. Just got blend some other pieces together, and I think Heavy Hitter did it the best and maxed her out in terms of some just top shape and a little more chest width is where I needed to watch her, and brought a little extra feature. I think these two out here right now, the 12 and the 13, 412 and 413. So lot 50 and 51 offer some pretty unique pieces in some different areas, like the 12 is look up front. I mean, long necked, really neat looking, very loose skeleton, has a really cool back, big square back, great hip and hind leg. And then you get into the 13 bear, his skull and features extremely good. I mean, real stout and rugged. They're both busted open throughout, top to bottom, front to back, and just like their flexibility, and I think those things will feed and progress and have a pretty good end point. this is the 13. So Brindley's on the lot 51, and Carlina is on the 50. I did not remember that good enough. So I ended up bringing a gilt up this year. I thought there was plenty to. This sow had 14, so it gave me plenty to go around. The 4-1 gilt out there in the ring right now is lot number 32. I like her looseness of skeleton. I mean, she reaches really well, level, tall fronted. I mean, burly, still feminine, but brings some extra feature to the table. I mean, makes some pretty stout bears, I think, and stout enough to feed and compete with the bears if you want to just show her. But and then you got 4-8 out there that Carlina's on is lot 31, and Brindley's on 4-9, the lot 30. Maybe not as out there in some areas as those previous two brothers we ran through here, but still really good and maybe more complete in some areas. Don't have to do some manipulating on the feed bucket like these two. I mean, I think it'll be pretty straightforward and easy. Look like they'll grow really well, and just don't have to blend some certain pieces together. Their proportions are extremely well, dense, square. I mean, hind legs really flexible and reach, and got enough look up front, good skull. I think I was really happy with that litter. I think those are some good feeding bears and hogs that hopefully make someone a nice project. This guy's trying to get off over here. So we brought a trio of these 9 litter pigs, Faith Alone, Say Win, Cruel. Just to reiterate, I guess the reserve middle, Lubbock County, and the brother was a class winner a couple years ago. The 9-4 is tag number 6. I think I love that one's skull, his look ahead of his blade. He's really opened up underneath, big forearm, uses his hind leg really well. Yeah, the one Brindley's on is tag 6. Proportional, well balanced. I mean, got a good skeleton, and I think, I've got a lot of confidence in that female with her initial litters. Feel like these things had some Faith Alones, made top 10 at San Antonio, and I kept a boar pig at the house that I really like out of another Cruel sow. So got some confidence with how those things will feed. And then on the one that Karina's on, 9-5 is the tag 8 or lot 8. I think that thing's a little later maturing type of deal, but like his center body a little better. I mean, he'll come together in his top line, I'm sure. That's just a little place I would question him right now, but I don't think it's anything to be concerned with. I mean, same deal, just squareness, flexible. Got a good look through his head and jaw, skull and jaw and neck. I think that one you can push on, and feet and legs are going to stay right and feed well and hopefully finish right. Last one out here is Buckle Up Rowdy Rebound. This out of a second litter sow. She had a seventh at San Antonio and another one going to Houston. I think those things, everybody's been pretty happy with the way those things have fed out of her first litter. Seemed like, I mean, Buckle Up is off to a real great start. If you can match his pieces, he's going to bring some big time stuff to the table. And I mean, that female is going to be a pretty fun one going forward. So, like where this bear, I mean, this features skull and jaw, big hind leg, uses it really well. I mean, that thing is busted open underneath, coming and going, but still really square in that hock and uses it well. Like his look from the side, I like this pig a good deal. I think just that for as dimensional and as massive as he is, he's got a really well-built skeleton that can handle the power and feed and just I think everything big-toed and big-footed. He's got a good foundation to go ahead and build on, and I think you could feed him a little longer. Don't want to get too carried away and get to pushing on him too much, maybe, but I like that one a good deal. Well, I guess that's it. So thanks for your attention and everybody's attendance. Thanks for Zach and Scott for helping make some new improvements this year. So hopefully everybody enjoys it and gets. If you have any questions, come catch me in back. Thanks.
Next up, we got Allied Genetics. Our local friends, and I don't know if anybody in the nation's investing in their Showpig operation quite like Weston is right now, and he brought us 4 pigs here that they're very good, and Weston's very proud of them, so we'll let him talk here.
Sorry, they caught me off guard. We're back in the corner if you haven't found us yet. Look us up back there, but we kind of jumped out of order here preview-wise, but that's okay. So our first pig to sell would be this belted male that Carlina in the black is driving. That would be a 20-1 tag 2. This guy would be sired out of Glory Days. That'd be the boar out of Cinderella. And his mama would be the $20,000 sow we bought from Sloan. It took me just a minute to figure her out, and I think I might have finally done it. In my opinion, I guess this is the best one she's ever made at our house, and it's not close. I absolutely dig this guy's skull shape. If I could make them all that wide-eyed and just good in their jaw, comes at you like a Mack truck, square at the base of his sternum, burly. But then you step off and you're like, okay, that running gear is actually super safe. You get behind him, there's not even a slight bow. That's one that I think is the kind that we strive to make all the time. In here, we jump out of order just a little bit. This would be an 18-litter gilt. She'd be tag number 24. So she's 18-4. Her mama would have been one we bought at King's for $12,000 from G&S. Garrett Sproles there bought the pick of Hilty's Slap Barn and selected this one's grandma, who's a Steeltown. She'd be the mother of Magic Trick at Premium Blend there. And then if you keep going in that pedigree where she's a gilt, you tie into the old Contagious sow, who's about as famous as they get. But this gilt screams to me like one that's got an absolute huge arm, tons of shape. I think a lot of flexibility with a female prospect like that. You've heard other breeders talk. That's the nice part of these gilts. Show them early, show them often, show them forever from now. They do give you a lot of flexibility, but the best part is when you've backed like a pedigree like that, you're probably going to have some value at the end of show season, selling her back to a breeder or breeding her yourself. So these two don't necessarily sell in order, but they're the ones that are pinned together. Again, the belted male is tag 2, and the wide belted gilt there would be tag 24, 18-4. Next in, we have one that I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't a little partial to. I don't know if he made the trip as well. He's a little empty, but this would be a wide awake, a boar that I guess we were as high on as any boar in the country this year. Back on a young mama who in her first litter would have raised Jake King's gilt that was like 3rd in her division and 10th overall at Arizona Nationals. This one, I guess I'm going to ask you to trust me just a little bit. I think maturity curve on this thing is incredible. I think this one makes an absolute killer heavyweight. And after watching that first litter out of this sow, I think that if you really stop and look at that guy's bone ankle feature, I think he's going to continue to get bigger legged with the hind leg that I'm convinced we cannot mess up no matter what we do to it. Again, wide awake, provoked little bro. That little bro sow would be the one we call the little bro sow at our house. She's in the pedigree of the San Angelo gilt and the Denver barrow and 3rd overall at State Fair, about everything lately. So again, this would be tag number 23. Zach named him MJ already. Maybe not the cutest early or in the high school days, but when it mattered most, he was the best, right? See? Pretty clever. Good thinking, Zach. So. I also will throw in there, since we need to fill a little time since he's given Bryn fits, that mama is absolutely ridiculously hairy. I have a picture from sitting on top of her with the breeding rod there. Her hair is unreal, so I have no worries there on that guy for sure. Finally, as most of you know us as big Tamworth breeders, I brought my Tamworth classer to town. This would be a 24 litter, tag number 49, all out war on the mate sister to the barrow that was 3rd overall at State Fair. Reserve cross, 3rd overall at State Fair 2 years ago. He was a crypt. He's been fixed, as you can see already. I know this guy's crazy colored, and I'm not even joking about him classing Tamworth or light cross, whatever you want to do. I do think this guy brings some unique pieces to the table in terms of just burliness, stoutness, one that proportions well with all the bulk and spread you could ever need. He's being a turd. The boys don't have him quite stick broke, but if you get the chance, get this guy's head up in the pin. I think you'll be surprised at just how neat looking he can be to go with all that burliness. Again, tag number 49, 24 litter male pig here. Come see us in the back. I appreciate you being here. Thanks, guys.
Next up, we have my show pigs from over in Kansas. We had Lane come and judge one of our shows down in Burlington. And I mean, if you follow the show pig world at all, I'm sure you've heard of them. When we wanted to start expanding this cell, as we're going to do from now on every year, I'm going to try and get more and more in here. But Lane was at the top of the list to ask to come, and he brought a trio, and we'll let him tell you about them.
Well, thank you very much, Zach, and appreciate the opportunity to bring a couple of these or a few of these out here. We'll start here. The trio we bring, there's a pair of 92 litter pigs in here. So the more black boar pig that Alex has there, that is a 92.9. That is lot 1 or tag 1. So that pig would be a wide awake in game. And that would be a litter mate to the gilt. So the gilt would be 92.6. I do have her tag number. I believe it's 22. Yep, so 22. So that pair of them there would be litter mate wide awake in game. That sow has done a very good job for us. A sow that we battled some injury with, and so we haven't quite capitalized on a lot of litters out of her, but the couple she's had have been very, very good. Most notably, there's a boar standing at No Limit Genetics there in California that they call My Homie. and that boar will be tricked out back on this same sow. I talked to Rex the other day. They've had close to 70 litters out of that boar. And he said that hog has done a very, very good job there on the West Coast of just generating feedable hogs that have extras. And so, again, these would be wide awakes back on that in-game sow. I would tell you just, when we started going through this older group of our stuff, the boar pig there, the 92.9, has just always been a standout to us. And, one, I think looking long term and looking down the road, I think that one can last a little while. And I say that, and really relative to his litter mates, he's probably on the bigger end of things. But I think the biggest thing there, just to kind of feed that one slow, just to keep neck shape in check ever so slightly. Those litter mates, I would tell you probably 2/3 of them look like the gilt in terms of just extension ahead of their blade and tightness of throat. So I think just the opportunity to feed that one a little slower the whole way and just have him looking stout and burly in the end, I think would be ideal there. So again, the 92.9 boar pig there would be our leadoff. The tag 1 pig. Then the littermate gilt again, here the tag 22. Then the last pig that I haven't talked about, the Belta boar pig, tag 48. Pedigree there would be tricked out 4 family ties. So the clone to tricked out, the 4th one, which was our personal favorite when we saw those boars young there last summer. This sow is one that a little older, has a little more age on her. Actually bought her from Lackey's bred sow sale last summer. This will be the 2nd litter we've got out of her, but she herself would be a litter mate to Tarantino. And that was the intrigue there. We have a few of those Tarantino sows at home that have done a very good job for us. So the opportunity to buy a litter mate and kind of maybe just go outside the box from what Lackey had done there and just breed this one a little more exotic. I thought the tricked out, the 4th clone would work very well there. So that's another one we brought out that, again, a little bigger, but I think just in terms of how much mass and power that guy has, ideally just feed him a little slower and target a little bit later on down the road there. So again, this would be our trio. That last one again was lot 48, 93-1. And again, we appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity. And if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you.
Next up, we got Prodigy Livestock. Johnny and Travis brought us a pair, one red one and a crossbred male. I know they're real proud of these two, and with good reason. This crossbred's pretty interesting to look at, and that red one, I believe, is out of a Wintex 312 deal that seems to be on a tear on the red ones right now.
Well, I first off kind of want to thank Zach for inviting us. This guy we've had a lot of offers on. He's good. His mother would be a soul, never before. We would have purchased her 3 years ago from Brandon Ogle. Just kept her as a sow. He's out of Trick Daddy, which is a tricked out never before, so he's doubled up on that never before. I think this dude feeds in for a Weld State Fair pretty easy. He fits in for kind of right where we're at with the industry. Top on the shoulder, extended in the neck, and walks like a cat. Really wanted to save this one for Zach. I was like, quality kind of comes in with our kind of our process with our farm, so kind of wanted to offer this one for Zach in this sale. So his tag is tag 18. All right, make him look good, Ellie. All right, the Duroc we have to offer, his tag number is tag 44. I didn't have as much time to whip break him. His dad is WTX 312. He would have been a private purchase from Wintex. That boar also would have raised the Grand Duroc at National Western this year. The mother is a Set the Curve. We would have purchased her from Brett Byers. That mother would have produced she would have been second in class at Louisville at the NJSS. She would have raised a class winner at Texas State Fair on the Bear Show, and then she would have raised the reserve champion gilt at Colorado State Fair that the Devers showed, and that gilt also was a class winner at Exorban. Big time generator. I see this dude super green, but as far as his growth pattern, feet and legs go the right way. I see him specifically for go in for a Weld County or feed him for a heavyweight at State Fair. Easy feeder. He's just going to get better the older he gets. His tag again is tag 44.
Next up, we got CNC Diamond here with us. We got Austin. I think Caleb's maybe on a plane or in a car, in a beach. We don't know. He decided to leave. Right, perfect timing. But we got Austin here to tell you about. I think we got 2 crossbreds and 6 purebreds, 5 purebreds. So if you're looking for a purebred, I would sit up and pay attention.
Well, thanks, Zach and the Coriel family for having us again here. We're going to lead off with a couple purebreds here. A Duroc Barrow. He would be lot 36. He's a Disruption made character. So that whole sow line a couple years ago, we needed to revamp the reds, kind of started over. Those would be out of the 4-litter sows. There's a pair of those littermate gilts that we've, first I guess sows now, that we've built that whole herd around, that had been champion Duroc at Weld County here 3 or 4 years ago, would have been champion Duroc at the Colorado Gilt Show, as well as third overall that year. Actually, that barrow boar is out of a first litter gilt. Those 89 litter gilts have done us a really nice job. We thought that looking at this one for just the basics of build and balance, that one's hip and hind leg is dead on. Length of hip and upper hip is spot on, and you know, as well as anybody in those reds, that they get a little wobbly. I think that one is running north and south instead of east and west, and that one's potential is really, really good. The Chester deal's always been good to us. Luck would have it, I guess. That would be a double bred, custom built a boar we sold to SGI 3 or 4 years ago. We lost them here about a year ago. Decided to dip into the semen tank and use them again and line that pedigree up. That one's mom is the 16 litter. She'd have been multiple champion at the CGSA circuit, as well as the champion Chester at Weld County. And then she ended up being the champion breeding gilt there at the Colorado State Fair. Really, really good litter. That's the only male in that litter. He is a crypt. Make that a note. He's going to have some surgery here done later on. But if that thing had both seeds, I think that one feeds as a boar prospect here at Caleb and I's house. But one that's really elevated, really good necked. Maybe not as big-legged as our Chesters tend to be at this stage, but I think that one potential here on, if it's a breed show here early or Colorado State Fair Exorban, that one feeds really, really, really good. Oh, Chester male is tag 13, and the Duroc is tag 36. Next, we got a couple litter mates. They're 8 litters, so that's a young sow at the house we have high hopes for. As many of Showpig breeders know, it takes a litter or two to kind of figure out what we need to mate that thing to, and I think we finally kind of did that. These would be good companies out of family ties. To be honest, the Belt to Gilt tag 12 should be our leadoff. Caleb and I custom discussed that litter, if that one should even come. As many of you know, with Caleb, we are gilt hoarders. We feed way too many of those things. And with her having a big litter and multiple gilts at home, that's probably the most market hog built one of the litter. whatever you guys want to do with that one in terms of jackpot ready now, feed that one for a county show. I think that one feeds and holds to Exarban, Kansas City, Colorado State Fair Gilt Show, whatever you want to do. I think that one has a lot of upside potential. To be honest, she needs to come off some baby pig feed and kind of melt it down. But in terms of being ready and wanting a jackpot, there's one there. The Red Barrel, we have there's 3 that are very, very similar at home. Like I said, there's a large litter of those. I think that one's body shape today might be a tick too long, but that'll moderate and shortened with age and maturity. He is also a crypt. He's going to need a Dr. Wade or somebody to go ahead and remove those. But I think when we break that one down and talk about fundamentals and balance, I mean, that thing is really good from the side, stout mugged, good necked. I think he has the bones to go wherever you need to go. Of course, maturity is definitely going to help. Color pattern sucks, to be straight honest with you. You put a belt on that one, I think that one changes him tremendously. But a nice pair of crossbreds we brought to you. Zach says the red is a light cross on the circuit and as Colorado State Fair. Oh, Well County, sorry, Well County. The next set we're going to drop in, there's 2 Berkshire males and a spot male. Berkshire males are both going to be top secret. So Travis Platt called us here, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 months ago and knew that we had a surplus of Berkshire sows at the house. Wanted to know if we wanted to partner on a barge. Schmorling found him. He's a $40,000 purchase. We partnered with Platt there at Upper Hand. And to be honest with you, he covered 90% of the Berkshire sows at the house. We brought you 2 types and kinds. The big one there in the center, he had to be, let's look here. He'd be tag 64, so he's an 83 notch. He's a top secret jet black. That sow would have been 1-4. We called her Anna. The Cogburn family showed her here 3 or 4 years ago. She was a multi-champion there at the CJSA jackpot circuit, as well as the champion Berkshire there at Well County. We lost that sow too young, but we did retain several gilts out of that deal, and she'd be the grandma of this one. I think we just break that one down into build and balance. That thing's really good. To be honest, he's probably going to have some grow. He needs to be geared more for a county show. But that'll be the 83 litter. The more moderate barrow that's there, I mean, I think wherever you guys want to feed that one, county fair, state fair, whatever, I think you can manage that one. That one's bold and has some extra shape up high. That one's mother actually is a first litter gilt. We were fortunate enough 2 years ago to raise the reserve Berkshire at Denver that the Davis family showed. And that one's litter mate. It would be his mom, be first litter gilt there. If you just want some extra power and dimension up high, bones are good. To be honest, Caleb and I are always late to the ball game, so this stuff just got moved on to shavings here about a week ago. So we're still kind of feet and legs are still trying to figure out of the nursery off the wire and things like that. But I think that one, just in terms of extras, is got a lot. Going into the spot barrow deal, that's the only spot male in the litter. That's out of the old 38-8 sow. Same sow as the grand barrow there at Pueblo last year that the Hermes family had. To be honest, the spot deal's kind of been an afterthought at the farm, but it's been really, really good for us. I think in terms of just extras in this one and foot and bone and extension up front is really good. Those pigs tend to feed forever, depending on where your end game is. But nice pair of purebred barrows. The spot barrow's tag number is going to be 62. The moderate dense Berkshire barrel is going to be lot number 63, and then bigger barrel is going to be tag number 64. Once again, I just want to thank Zach and his family for allowing us to come back to this deal. I think it's awesome for us breeders to get out and market some different pigs in different avenues, and just a big thanks to them. Thank you.
Next up, we got JM Showpigs, right close to home for us. Justin and I have become pretty good friends, and I enjoy every year going down there and looking at pigs that just keep getting better and better every year. And this year when I went down, it's probably been 3 weeks ago, but I could tell that these are the best ones Justin's raised, and he's very proud of them for good reason. We'll let him talk in.
Well, thanks, Zach, for having me back. We brought a trio that I am very proud of. We'll start with the blue one there in the center. That's going to be tag 66. He's quite frankly never before. Mom there would be the grandma of the coffin gilt that just was reserved commercial at her county show in Oklahoma. That one does have some grow to him, as you can see, but I think if you want one that's going to be ready to run in a light cross deal, end of July, first part of August, I think that thing fits the bill very well. The one that Brinley's on is 3-1. That would be tag 45. He's quite frankly, come and see. Mom would be a first litter gilt. We used, quite frankly, pretty hard this last fall, and we're very happy with the results. That thing's big-legged, big ribbed, stout featured, stout coming at you. I like that one a bunch for a county show as well. And then the one that Carlina's on now that's not very cooperative is going to be our leadoff. He's a Daylight, no turning back. Daylight would be the My Intention board down there at Josh and Carrie Brockman's that we've used a little bit and have liked those pigs. Mom would be a young sow that is maternal sib to the reserve grand there at Sherman County 3 years ago. Like that one's build. I think that one can stretch into state fair. If you got any questions on them, find me in the back. Thanks again, Zach, for having us, and thanks everybody for coming out.
This blue one here, if it could get to state fair, that is a light cross qualifier at Colorado State Fair. Next up, we got Reese Livestock, kind of like Chase at SoCo. When we started this sale, we had Dakota and Chase in mind, and so Dakota brings us a 10 or 11 pigs here. Little bit of size variation in these things, but the quality is very, very solid.
Both of these dry. The next three, not so much. Thanks to Zach for having us again, and I'm super proud of this set. This set, I held all the barrows that I really loved back, and this is the best set of hogs I've put together in a long time. I'm thrilled to offer these up for you guys and see what they all think of them. The one Brindley's on is 3-1. That is a buckle up on an Echo 100-1. 3 litter was probably the deepest litter I've maybe ever had. That barrow, I'm not going to talk them a whole lot. You can come find them and bounce them off me. That litter was extremely, extremely good. The other barrow in there is 1-2. He's also a buckle up. His mom was a PHP. Buckle ups, they're known for how big their feet and legs are. I've been extremely critical of back legs and flexibility, and I think that's why the buckle up line works so well at my house. Brindley's 3-1 is lot 27. The other one is 1-2, which is lot 54. These are my next three that we're bringing out. The off-belted one that Brindley's on, and these are a little bit higher strung than the rest of mine. The off-belted one is 13-2. He is lot 55. He is turning tricks on a dead horse sow. This is the first gilt litter. She did a good job, small litter, but did a good job. That's a barrow I think is going to feed very, very well. The other two are 14 barrows. They are Joe Cool, which is another Kanoth boar, on a timber sow. The 14s are very barrow heavy, very big legged and good legged. I think they'll be real easy to feed. The wider belted 14 is lot 56. 14-6 is the one with just the one back leg that's white and the one back leg that's black. He is lot 57. No, there's another one coming. That one right there. The next two of mine are coming in is lot 28 and lot 29. The belted one is 14-2. He is lot 29. He is a Joe Cool on the timber sow. And then the all black one is 5-1. He's lot 28. He'd be a Joe Cool on a backbone on wedding night sow. That wedding night sow is the mother of a boar I raised that was up at Upper Hand they called Mimic. The all black one was lot 28 and the belted one was lot 29 in that last pen. These two are the 9-litter barrows, and I'll just give you a little history on these. If you watched my online sale last week, the 9s were very, very popular, and this 9-litter and the 3-litter, like I said before, are two of the deepest litters I've ever had. They are top shelves on an Echo 100-1, on a Goosebumps, on the sow that we call America. America is where all our major winners have came from. This sow's was this litter's mom is a 3/4 mate to the reserve at Houston that we raised a few years ago. Their grandma would have just raised the reserve cross guild at Dallas this last year, and their great grandma would be that America sow that raised the reserve at Houston, and she was also the grandmother of the champion gilt at Indiana last year. So I don't think you can pack more winners in a pedigree than that, and I think these barrows speak for themselves. The one with more white on him is 9-1. He is going to be my lot 5. The one with more black on him is 9-2. He's going to be lot 7. These last two here coming in are both 3-litters. They'd be buckle up on an Echo 100-1. That Echo 100-1 sow goes back to our Swallow line we bought several sows from them from Louisiana. My lead off is the one on the far side. He's 3-4. That's lot 3. He's the only one this spring that I left the seeds in him. I think that thing does some very, very cool things that are very hard to find. I don't typically like leaving them boars, but that one I couldn't bring myself to cut. His litter mate's 3-2. He's going to be lot 25. Like I said again, these are buckle up on Echo 100-1. And for those of you who don't know, Echo 100-1 was a boar at Cornerstone Ventures. I used him pretty hard. He was the sire of the Grand at Indy last year that I had, and he was also the sire of the reserve at Houston that I had. So them hogs feed extremely well. That's why you're going to see a bunch of that pedigree in all of my sows, because I have a bunch of them females and they're working very, very well. Thanks, Zach, again. If you have any questions, come find me tonight or tomorrow.
I think that's it for tonight. Feel free to come back here, kick through the pigs, talk to the breeders tonight. Tomorrow, there's still some more food back here if you're hungry. Go get some food. We probably will shut this barn down like 45, 50 minutes, something like that, and get out of here. But we'll be back in the morning. We'll run them through the ring again, and we'll have a sale at 1 o'clock.